Promotion and Success Podcast, the number one podcast for Gen Z and millennials. We might not be number one yet, but we coming for that spot. So I'm Io and my co-host.
My name is Cody, future underscore the CEO.
All right, so today we got two special guests. They're about to drop a lot of game for you guys. So if you guys could just introduce yourselves.
My name is Brandon. That's how we gonna start it.
My name is Tevin Facey.
That's how you
Instagram at Tevin Facey. One half of the Millionaire Essentials. That's my partner, y'all.
All right, cool. So we're gonna have a quick conversation. We here with the business funding gurus, the man themselves. And these are actually my mentors when it comes to the business funding game, right? I think Tevin my mentor. I mean, in the business funding game. Nah, I ain't gonna do that.
Something like
I'm
that.
messing with you.
I remember that every time he called me.
But yeah, so we're going to be talking about a lot of information on how you guys can literally start building your business credit so you can get some funding. Literally, 50, 100, 200,000, up to $1 million plus, probably.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Of course.
All right, cool. So we're going to give y'all some game on that and also talk a little bit about the behind the scenes story and how you guys got there, right? But yeah, so that's how we going it off. You got any questions to start it off, bro?
I mean, first off, you guys can start it off. Where you guys from?
Yeah.
From Queens.
Queens. So
Yeah.
y'all out here in
Get
New
the
York,
money.
just like us.
Of course.
Absolutely.
That's dope. That's dope.
Grew up in these streets, man. Grew up in these streets.
That's dope. So how did y'all manage to team up and really build something together?
Just networking, man. Networking, doing the same things, being on the same path, which is very important. I guess like how you guys are co-hosting this podcast, networking, being on the same path, like-minded, and just thinking it's better to be stronger together than separate.
Yeah, collaboration over competition was definitely important.
Yeah.
Not only just networking, but also colliding with somebody that's actually in the same vision as you, aligned with you, and looking to go in the same wavelength as you as how far as they want to go. So
Right.
So before y'all teamed up, y'all kind of had your own credit business, y'all was doing your own thing.
Yeah, definitely. I know me for sure. I was doing a little bit of funding on the side myself while still working a 9 to 5, 9 to 12, whatever they want to call, because I was doing 12-hour shifts at Con Ed. Shout out to Con Ed. Yeah, it was my first investment, but not only just that, I was doing funding, I had bought some real estate and just, continuously trying to build and grow, but realized, after continuously trying to do different business ventures, putting my all and energy into one specific business, that was one of the most important things for me. So, I'm definitely focusing on that path now and focusing on getting that information to everybody about that path too.
Yeah, we're going to do that for sure today.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, cool. So now my first question is, as far as funding, what is funding? How can it help people out? How can it help people out? I know, Tevin, you just mentioned you got some real estate using funding. How can that help people out as far as money, just going out there, getting a bag? How can that really help them excel their business, help them excel in life, and just make some more money overall?
Right. You go ahead, Brandon.
Well, yeah, funding is access and capital, right? So that's one of the most important things as far as when we're trying to elevate and get to the next level is other people's money.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't want to, especially when you invest in business, right? You can start out, building a business with your money, but eventually to get more and more capital or to really get, for example, when you go get a property, you get a mortgage.
Yeah.
A lot of people, the majority of people, they'll go out and put 100,000 of their own money and buy a house outright. Now you can do that, but now it's risk. It's risk versus reward.
Mm-hmm.
You're risking your own money. Now if something go bad, unless you have a ton of money in the background or saved up, you're gonna lose out.
Yep.
So you want to lessen the risk by leveraging business credit, business funding. So when you out there investing in your business, you want to access business capital, business funding. So you're always going to get more of that than what you actually have in the bank anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He said the specific word leverage, right? Because, leveraging, that mortgage to be able to get a property and just pay for it monthly opposed to buying it outright and now having a bill when, the taxes come and if anything happens to that property. So leverage is most important, right? And understanding how to leverage your personal credit, right? Because, business credit is great, right? Business credit is just the same as personal credit. You're using trade lines in order to start building an actual score. But when it comes to business funding, personally guaranteeing, meaning leveraging your personal credit is what's most important, and it's one of the easiest and fastest ways to do it. Opposed to building up net 30s, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 accounts. That takes time. It takes a lot of time. And then eventually you're going to need revenue.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the most important thing is leverage. Leverage your personal credit, get into the business funding so that you can now get access to that 50, 100, 200, 300,000, a million at some point.
And just like we was having a conversation a little bit earlier, for me personally, I was saying the same thing. I'm like, I felt like, the marketing was kind of off. So I was able to use OPM to actually start getting more marketing, getting better at that.
I wonder where you got that OPM from.
Information, huh?
I wonder where you got that OPM from.
We got that from the plug. Let's just say that.
Y'all gotta break down OPM.
Well, other people's money.
Yeah.
So other people's money could be, the banks. It could be a private lender. It could be wherever you're accessing capital, the leverage. But when we say OPM, we usually talking about the banks in our particular situation.
Yeah. And definitely, we got Cody that, nice 50 piece from Chase.
They set me up, 50 piece, definitely 0% interest.
12 months.
12 months. We still working. We still rocking on that 50,000 right
still,
now.
You
Still
ain't use it all up
interest.
yet?
You ain't use it all up yet?
You ain't buy no new sneakers?
Nah, sneakers is not important when you got the $50,000 in funding, man. We gotta, definitely invest it so that way we can make some more money, But yeah, so definitely that 50 piece came from Brandon and Tevin, the Millionaireesenssials for sure.
Hey man, you
sure.
heard it. You know where you heard it from. Motion and success. He got the motion. Now he's just trying to get the success. So.
Listen, y'all.
He got the success.
I'm telling y'all, this podcast definitely gonna be able to turn everybody up as far as having motion, because now we want to be able to show people how you can literally go out and use, OPM. We want to be able to show you where you can actually park the money as far as real estate, whether you into the exotic car rental business, whatever the idea might be. This is one of the ground foundations as far as, getting into these businesses and making some more money. It's the credit, it's the funding, it's the exposure. You use the funding to go ahead and get some exposure. So that way you can literally turn up and start, doing the things that you want to do. So we at the beginning of the motion of success, y'all. So we got some good guests for sure. All right, cool. So just walk me through, how can somebody get some funding? What's some of those steps? What's some of those things that we got to make sure that we have to have in place to go ahead and get some funding?
Good credit, obviously. When we say good credit, at least a 680 or above.
So if you get bad credit,
when you have bad credit, you need
still get funded.
Yeah, you need to go to you for credit repair, right?
Yeah.
If you got bad credit,
and then you can send it back to us.
Yeah,
you can still get funding, but there's different ways, right? So when we're talking about good credit, right, that's PG and that major banks. So they want to see a good credit history for them to be able personal guaranteeing.
Okay.
Paul George. So either way, point guard.
Allen Iverson, Paul George, AI, Paul PG, AI, because I got the AI software with the credit repair. So yeah.
That don't go together, but that's why it's a Gen Z podcast,
right?
That's why it's a Gen
why
Z
you trying to play
podcast.
us like that?
How'd y'all come up?
He on the Gen Z seat right now.
Because we look like the same age.
No, we don't, bro.
But how'd y'all come up with that? How'd y'all come up with Gen Z podcast?
That's for another episode.
But wasn't you talking about funding?
All right, so
the qualifications
for the Gen Zers out there, the qualifications.
X's.
XYZs.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I got too many letters.
The qualifications, you should have a 680 credit score. And for the Gen Zers, since a lot of y'all are just now building your credit, because a lot of y'all are babies, you need to build your credit profile up. It's easy to build your credit, even when you have no credit. It's probably the easiest and fastest way to build your credit. You're in the best situation.
Mm-hmm.
But no credit is it's the same thing as having bad credit. The only difference is when you have bad credit, it takes a long time to fix. When you have no credit, you could build that up in 6 months, maybe less. 6 months to a year, you could have a great credit profile if you build it up the right way. So
let me ask you a question. So in 6 months, how much money can a person actually get, after they build out everything, from A to B to Z to, all these other levels?
So to be honest, when you have a great credit profile, there's no limit to how much money you get. As long as you're always going to be able to access more and more credit as long as you're able to pay it back.
Okay.
That's the point of OPM. On the business side, they're going to give you 10 to 100 times more of credit and funding than on the personal side.
Okay.
Because they're funding the business.
Right.
And you're always, as long as you pay the money back, the bank is going to give you more money. You get 10,000, you pay it back, you could probably qualify for 20, 25. You get that, you pay it back, you could go for 50. That's how the banks work. You get lending, you pay it back, they can offer you more.
Mm.
Yeah.
So they make money off the interest, and they make money off the transactions. They make money off every movement you do in the bank. So as long as you have good credit history, you have good payback history, they're going to offer you more money.
Yeah.
I would say one thing too. Also changing your mindset, right? Because obviously, personal understanding to fix your personal credit and or build your personal credit, whether it's coming from scratch, whether you had no credit. I think changing your mindset is what's important, right? Because everybody wants to get money and put it into something, but when you get the money, what are you really going to do with it? Not only that, when you get the money, are you going to go out there and spend it on frivolous things like clothes, cars, jewelry, sneakers, right? What are you actually going to spend that money on, right? So change your mindset on understanding that it's also for a long run, right? It's not just about the short term, it's about the long term. So just understand that, change your mindset, you can really get to it. You
Yep.
really understand what you're doing later
Yep.
on.
Okay.
Have that plan, right? Brandon always talks about a plan. Have a
Yes,
plan. It
sir.
doesn't have to be for a business, but what is your personal plan? What are your personal goals? Those things are important because at some point you have to reach there. But if
Yeah.
you don't know what those goals are, those plans are, then how are you gonna reach anywhere?
They
Yep.
say fuzzy targets don't get hit.
Yes, sir.
They say that for sure. Yeah, bro, you about to ask something?
Nah, that makes sense though. Like, cause I know with business credit comes with a lot of responsibility.
A
Like,
lot.
so I got a question, cause it's like I'm like basic on the credit. Like I'm good with credit, but I'm like basic. So why is it better to kind of get business funding instead of kind of like, let's say you got a good personal credit, you want to start a business, but you want to use your Chase personal preferred card, reserve card.
Mm.
Why use your business credit card rather than your own personal? Like you
Because
want to keep them separated or
yeah, because number one, you don't want to intermingle things, right? Your personal expense with your business expenses. So that goes kind of into business, right? Number two, utilization. So when you use your personal cards, you're gonna get hit with utilization. The more you use a personal card, the more your utilization goes up, and it's gonna drop your credit score. So over a long period of time, like say you got a $10,000 card, and you need 10,000 for your business, use the card. Now your utilization is high, and you probably have a plan to pay that back over time. So now utilization is a strong part of your credit profile.
35%.
So now that's going to drop your score a lot while you're paying that money back. Instead of using a business card, it does not report on a personal for the most part. Most business credit cards don't report to your personal unless you go delinquent over a certain period of time.
Yeah, don't go to Capital One or TD Bank, y'all. They report to your personal.
So
Yeah.
now when you use your business card, you have time to pay it back. You could use, maybe the whole thing, maybe half of it, as much as you need to use, and now you can pay it back over time, and now you're not messing up your personal profile.
Okay.
all right, so my second question is so let's say I got a good personal credit like 750 or whatever, and now I started my business. I got a barber shop or whatever, but I want to do some upgrades, but I don't got no cash on hand. Like walk me through the steps of like getting funding within like a week or a few days. Like what do I have to set up? How could I get that funding? And what banks would give me that
I
funding?
got you. I got you. Yeah, so you have a 750. You just started your business, right? Obviously, you're not in that 2 years and above range. So only thing you can really qualify are for credit cards. Now there are some banks that will give you a line of credit, like TD Bank, right? They give up to 25,000 as a line of credit for startup businesses. But as you're saying, walking you through those steps. So not only just TD, but Chase, they give up to 50,000 on the credit card. Elon Financial, they give up to 25. Well, they give up to technically 30, but 25 is usually those average limits people are getting approved for. So you can get 2 Elon cards, and you can even get a U.S. bank card that you can go up to about 30,000 as well. So if you put all of that together, 25, 50, that's about 75 right there, and then 25, 25, that's another 50, so that's about 125. And even if you go to with U.S. Bank, and that's another 25, that's about 150,000 right there that you can use for whatever repairs,
Yep.
or even for payroll over the span of 6 months for whoever's going to be coming in, or even just expand into another location depending on how well the barbershop is doing, as well as marketing, right? Sales and marketing, that's something that me and Brandon, we've been talking about a lot for the past couple days for sure. and weeks, because sales and marketing is one of the most important aspects to your business,
Yeah.
right? So for us, that's what we've been focusing on: sales and marketing, because that's what's going to bring everybody in, right? Operations and fulfillment is going to be next, but sales and marketing, that got to be first. But if we're going back to the credit aspect and the funding, you can get about 150,000 definitely. And that's the small part of it, right? Like we said, 50, 100, 200, 300, maybe even $1 million one day.
Okay.
Damn. So 150,000 after freshly just starting a new
And
business.
that's 0% interest too,
Yeah.
except for the line of credit. The line of credit has its own interest, but all those cards, those are 0% interest for 12 months and above.
And you want to know one thing I definitely like about these fellas right here? If you look at everybody else on the internet, right, they tell you get 15, 20, 30 different credit cards, apply for everything. You know what I mean? Apply for everything under the sun and see how much you could get approved for.
Mm-hmm.
They got a sequence where you literally can go in, as long as you got the relationships, you got the personal credit, everything is good. You don't have to be out here applying for 10, 15 plus credit cards, and you'll be able to get over $100,000,
Right.
$150,000. I got one credit card for $50,000. Like, that's
Right.
crazy. You know what I
Facts.
mean? All off of having the relationships. So now let me ask you a question now. So now, instead of doing like these 15 credit card sequences, what would be the best way for me to actually start doing this by myself without, like, say for example, I'm a person where I want to do this myself. I don't want to pay that 10%, 10%, 8%, whatever it may be. What would be some advice that you would tell that person, right, to actually go ahead and run some plays?
All right, perfect.
Like some websites, some resources, like at least give them, a little something. Get
Nah,
them
nah,
for
we got you,
something,
got
you know?
Of course, what we like to say is getting our mentorship, but nah. Nah,
You gotta pay for the information. I ain't knocking it. I pay for the information.
Nah, some we always couple websites we always talk about ibanknet.com.
Okay, so what does the ibanknet.com do? Like, how
So
does that help?
So you would go in there, right? That basically has a list of almost every has every banking institution, lending institution, credit union, in the country, right? So basically shows the financials of all the lending institutions in the country. So you can go in there, go to your jurisdiction, go to your state, county, and see what banks is in your vicinity, your county, and basically look up, the assets and how much money is coming in, how much money is going out. So
Yeah.
usually what I like to do is look at like the top 5 or top 10 banks within my state or jurisdiction,
Okay.
and then usually those are the banks that's giving out the most money. So now you can
Mm.
go on there, go on the website, and just check out their products, their business products, and see, how you qualify. Call them up, see how you qualify, see what kind of cards they got, see what kind of lines of credit they got, and you can create your own list doing that.
That's what I pay for the mentorship for. Y'all just
Basically.
got it for free. Like, for real, for real.
Basically,
Like, for real, you can literally start using the ibank.net. Isn't it another
There's another
website?
one.
and
Bank
then
branch.
bank branch locator, right?
Bank
So
branch
now
locator. Yep.
bank branch locator. So now banks in America, not everybody can qualify to enter get an account at each bank, right? You have to be within the vicinity, within the footprint. So usually most banks you have to be within like a 50-mile radius of where they're located to be able to set up an account at the bank. So now bank branch locator, when you put the address in, when you put the bank in, it'll show you what states you can qualify to get access to that bank.
Uh-huh.
So for example, like M&T is usually on the East Coast down to the DMV.
Yeah.
So if I put that in bank branch locator, it'll show me all the states that I need to be in or within range in to access M&T. So now you combo that with ibanknet.com. Now you can see I'm in a close enough location. Now I could try to get this no doc loan here and over there and over there. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? So
Yeah.
that's what I combo to make your own list, your own funding list.
And just hop on the website too, right? It's not rocket science for some of the places. It's not rocket science, right? If you hop on the website, a lot of them are stating their requirements and their qualifications on the website, right? Some people don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
You got to do the work. That's one of the most important things. You have to do the work. You got to put in the work.
Absolutely.
And actually do the research to see, what banks are in your area, right? We can't say it for every single bank because everybody's everywhere, right? You got a number one upcoming podcast. I don't know where all these people are. So definitely tap into that bankbranchlocator.com and tap into ibanknet.com because that's very important for you to understand what to tap into in your area then you can go in and do the research, understand exactly what they're trying to do. And if you need a little bit more assistance, that's where the academy comes in.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Right.
All right, so I got another question. Back to the funding. So I was thinking like,
That boy want that money.
yeah,
You heard
He
that
said, that sound
150?
good, but
He
now,
said-
back to actually getting the
he
money.
said, he said all that stuff y'all saying, that's
play.
great. He said all that stuff y'all saying is great. Look, this money, right? What's going on?
we definitely got to get the money. But like, I'm thinking like, let's say I wanna get myself ready to get some funding.
Mhm.
What are some don'ts like that people should like? Let's say if you have a business, like what is some don'ts like from the name of your business to like your location? Because I know you can't just walk in these banks like, yo, I want funding.
Yeah, you gotta look. You
gotta
look
structure
good.
yourself.
Yeah,
So,
you
so
gotta
like,
look good.
How do they?
You
structure
can't walk in there
themselves to look
wearing them
good?
dunks and high socks, bro.
So you gotta come
That's
with
the
a
Gen
suit.
Z. That's the Gen Z.
yeah.
Nah,
No,
business casual for sure. Business casual for sure, right? Don't go in there dunks in the high socks. Go in there looking presentable, right? You gotta look good, just like as if you would go on a date with a female, or if you were a female watching with a male, right? Go in there looking good, understanding.
Or like, you gotta keep going. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So you could get a no based on your fit.
Well, you can get a no based on just them looking at
He
you and
wouldn't
how you
say
present
that.
yourself. That's what he would say.
Yeah, he
He's
wouldn't say
like-
that.
he's
All I
like-
gotta do is look good. He wouldn't
No,
say
but
that.
there's a lot of other things, that's involved in it, right? Your restricted industries, right? Especially that's inside of your name, not only your name, but your NACE code, right? I don't know the correct words to the acronym NACE, but your NACE codes is basically, the industry that you're in, right? That's listed on the Secretary of State or your Duns and Brad a lot of the times, depending on which state you're in. And with that, I know 541 611. That's administrative management and consultant management. That's a really good NACE code. I know that one being played out a lot right now. But being in those industries that's not targeted to be rejected by the bank, right? Marketing, education right now is doing really well.
Yeah.
But also inside of those specific industries, right? Like trucking is a really bad industry for. It's restricted like hell right now.
When you're trying to get funding.
But you can actually be a consultant inside of trucking, and you can still get funding because you're technically consulting for trucking companies, which you're not taking on the risk. You're just trying to help them grow and build the same way how a while ago financial advisors were trying to do that. Y'all, Gen Z probably don't know that. But.
I got a good understanding. I'm tapped in.
But nah,
in.
consultants now are running the world because that's who are going into these Fortune 500 companies and actually helping them build and grow because their methods are outdated. So they need somebody that's new and fresh that's going to come in and help them grow and build their business. So consultants are that.
Okay, so that same thing will basically apply for like high risk industry for like real estate, all these other high risk industries. Instead of going in and saying, "Hey, listen, I'm a real estate investor. I need $100,000." Just say you're a consultant, stuff like that.
Yeah, consultant inside of real estate. So you consult, with developers and help them find properties that can become profitable for their business, without you having to actually spend any money out of your pocket, but receiving profit. You get what I'm saying? You want to be in that high profit, low expenses, right? Your overhead, you don't want it to be that high. So that's the reason why those restricted industries are there.
Like, for example, right? Like my own strip clubs, right? I would say I'm a nude choreography consultant. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you gonna put for it, bro?
I wouldn't put our own strip clubs.
I-
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
put
would-
our own strip clubs.
I would
That's high
put-
risk.
I would
The
put
strip
club-
clubs is high risk.
Yeah, I would put dance. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I would put something about dancing. I'm a dance choreography consultant.
Or just put choreography, like simple. You're just dancing. You ain't. I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
mind.
ATMs is high risk. Anything with cash, a lot of stuff with cash,
Yeah.
is high risk. So yeah, you got to know how to look presentable. So that's really wearing your suit, right? Knowing how to look presentable in your business.
Yeah.
So knowing like your the proper name, having your business set up properly, business phone number, business email. That's looking presentable. That's working in the bank. Your paperwork is making you look presentable. Right? Having the right business address. They don't like to see residential addresses unless you can really prove and show like I really work out of my home. They really want a commercial address. You know what I'm saying? A professional address. They want a business phone number, business email.
Yeah,
They want a good name.
too, right?
Yeah, and they do site visits sometimes.
They do.
They'll
Yeah.
pop up on you.
Yeah, they will.
Check and see.
Mm-hmm.
So what about like most people? They had like those virtual addresses, so they popping up to the virtual addresses.
Right now, I ain't gonna.
So they are. So with the virtual addresses, right? So when we say virtual, right, it could mean it really means a couple different things, right? So when you get a virtual address, nowadays you could get a physical location with a virtual address.
Mm-hmm.
So PO box before a lot of people PO boxes were working back in the day. They don't want a PO box no more.
Nope. No
When they say
personal
virtual
mailbox.
address, they want a physical. So let's we need to change virtual address to physical location
Physical, yeah.
because that's what they really mean.
Yeah.
So, but when we say virtual address, so there are businesses that sell addresses. So I can, for example, go on like a Opus,
Yeah.
a Da Vinci, and I can buy an address and host my meetings at they own the whole office building and they sell out their rooms.
Right.
So now I can have an address in that office building. So that's a virtual address because I don't actually live there or, I don't actually do business there day to day, but I can
Co-working
rent an office room
Yeah.
and have a physical location,
Yeah,
a co-working space.
spaces,
Yeah.
Mm.
It's kind of like WeWork, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How WeWork was supposed to be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what is it now? Something
No,
different?
WeWork was that, and then it had reverted back. But I think if I remember watching this, WeWork was supposed to be bigger than what it's supposed to be.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then reverted back to its original model. But like you said, having all those necessary things, that's like putting on your blazer, right? You don't have
Yeah.
to go in there with your suit and tie. That is your suit and tie. But just coming in, just looking presentable, that's something that they look for as well. Because they don't want anybody just coming in there, right? I know we don't like to look at people and judge them based upon how they look, but you got to understand they're a bank that's giving out money. They want to be able to give it to somebody that's at least responsible enough to pay them back and keep
Okay.
it going. Yeah.
Has there been like an instance where like one bank says no and then another bank is like, yeah, I'll take this client?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
All the time.
Different banks have different lending qualifications.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Some is a little tighter, harder. Some is a little lenient. Happens all the time.
Yeah. It's
Different underwriters.
yeah, I was
It
about to
all
say
depends on the underwriters, right? So some banks are a little more strict with the underwriting. For example, like let's go with Chase, right? Chase is probably one of the biggest commercialized banks in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Chase, you're just another number.
Mm.
So you go in Chase a lot of times.
But you
A
don't
lot of
think
times.
Chase is like one of your favorite banks, though?
Oh yeah, for us,
Oh,
we're
no.
different. No,
Oh,
we're
okay,
different. We're
okay,
different.
okay.
We're not regular.
Okay.
Right.
We're not regular.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Come on, bro.
Don't do that. Don't do
I'm
that.
like,
Not talking about us.
okay. I'm
We're
like,
talking
wait,
about
I
the,
thought.
the general public.
Word. I'm like, all right, because we're
Gen
not
Pop?
just,
Yeah,
you
we
know.
talking about
word.
Gen Pop.
All right,
You know
cool,
what I'm
cool.
saying? That's why you come to us. Like we're not regular. But for you guys, for you and you, when you go in Chase, you're just another guy, right? So their guidelines,
but
if you
okay.
don't fit their guidelines, it's like you denied. That's it, out the door. Whether then a smaller bank, like more like let's just say a Key Bank or like an M&T, more regional bank, they're smaller, so they're more relationship based. So they really want like a credit union.
Right.
They want your service. So
Mhm.
they'll work with you a little bit more. They're more family based. Like you'll call them, the same person to answer every day.
Every day.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You get the same 5 people that you'll talk to.
Yep.
So they're more family based, more relationship based. So they're more than likely to approve you or get your service. They're more lenient
Okay.
than
Yeah,
like
but-
a bigger bank.
They're lenient, but not at the same time, right? Because I know a lot of times, even with some of those credit unions, they ask for more documents because they don't have as much money as the bigger banks to lend out,
That makes
right?
sense.
You know, a lot of the bigger banks and the fiduciaries, they have money that's coming in from SBA. So the money that's coming in from SBA is already backing a lot of the money that they're sending out. So even if their default rates are 20, 30, 40% for that quarter, they're already getting backed by SBA. Default meaning that a lot of businesses that came in, borrowed money, did not pay the money back. So, you know, the bigger banks, they have that backup solution because they're partnered with the SBA in that sense.
Yeah.
But the credit unions, they don't got that.
right.
It's either we gonna give you this money, you gonna pay it back,
Mm-hmm.
or we gonna throw that collections on you as soon as possible. Because if I don't know if I don't want to put anybody in that spot, but if you ever noticed, credit unions, they'll go after you faster than a bigger bank will because the bigger
They
banks,
need the money.
yeah, the credit unions need that money first
right.
as soon as possible. That's why they always buying assets and trying to partner and collaborate with other banks to become a bigger bank.
That makes
Right,
sense.
FMBO I think was a great example of that. Right, FMBO and Truist, because it was SunTrust and
Right.
I forgot the other bank that they partnered with, and FMBO, they started buying up a lot of different banks. There's a lot of different banks that's doing that. BMO Harris bought up, I think they bought up Bank of the West now.
Right.
So there's a lot of them that's collaborating because they want to become that bigger bank. They want to start getting the SBA back funding because they don't no longer want those default rates. They want to start continuously making money and keep making money.
So I heard you say SBA. So during the pandemic,
Oh
everybody
yeah,
was
SBA was
getting
giving out
away
that
with.
bag.
They was giving out a lot of money,
The
like,
PPP.
They needed to.
and apparently people were getting away with all type of different LLCs. Like, why were they giving out so much money and that easy?
I could give you my idea. Just being honest, and I don't know if this is completely true. I think the SBA needed to give money, right? So with the country closing at that time, the SBA has a budget that they need to spend every single year and every single quarter at that. And at that time, I think we were literally just starting the second quarter. I think it was March when COVID shut everything down. Yeah. So just and this is my idea. Their budget, if they would have stopped in March to what is that? March, April, June. If they would have stopped in June, they didn't lend the money that they were supposed to. Next year, when the budget comes out, it's going to be a lot lower. So if you didn't realize, from March to June, they were pushing PPP hard as hell, EIDL hard as hell, and they were getting the money out. And then guess what? The next quarter, because the banks ain't open, they were still doing the same thing. But when the banks started opening back up, the SBA started tightening their restrictions, lowering their lending amount because the banks are back open now. The banks are starting to lend, and they have to lend back to the banks. So that's just my idea, and I think they really needed to do that to circumvent a lot of the money.
Definitely ate good off that SBA PPE
Yeah.
wave.
Was you in high school during COVID?
No,
Nah.
no.
That was in high school during COVID?
That was a few years ago, man. Like, I've been out of high school. I've been out of college. I've been
Oh, okay, my bad.
been there, done that.
So
bro.
you about my age then?
Nah, not up there, but I've been there, done that. You know, I've been around the town, but we back. But so my question is now. So now you guys gave out an information on how you can literally go out there and get a funding list. Whether you should go to the banks and how to, create the sequences. You can find all the places that's giving the big bags. Now, let me ask you guys one last question, right? How can somebody go out there with this same exact information and literally run up a bag, right? Because I know, like, with the funding company, like, this is something that anybody could do, right?
Yes,
I know
sir.
you could do this online. You could do this in DR. I remember Tevin was in DR one time talking his thing. Like, yo, I'm in DR, but I'm still
No, it was
funded.
Puerto Rico. That
Oh,
was
Puerto Rico, my
Yes,
fault.
sir.
My
Yes,
fault,
sir.
my fault. But
The
how
funding
can...
poppy.
Yeah, the funding poppy.
DR, Puerto Rico, San Juan.
You know,
Oh, yeah, DR too. Word.
you know what I'm
word.
saying? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So how can somebody take this information and literally start running up a bag? Like, I want my young people just like me, right, to literally know how to be able to actually take this information, run with it, and run up a bag. Like,
So exactly
Like-
what we just said, bro. Like consulting.
right.
Consulting. As long as you have information that can help somebody and give value and you could help put some money in people's pockets, you can always make money. So the same knowledge that we're teaching you,
Yeah.
you can go out and help scale somebody else's business. So all businesses usually need consultants.
Yep.
They have to build a team around them to scale. You can be the funding consultant. You could be the banking consultant. You could be the bookkeeping consultant. So you can be the financial consultant. So you can go into business. Business always looking for capital. You could
Yeah.
be the one to help them get capital by consulting them and showing them a path on how to access capital from the banks
Right.
and charge your fee.
And how much can somebody make doing this?
Unlimited.
10, 20, 30,
So-
40, 50,000 a month.
A month?
6 figures. So what we teach is how you become a profitable funding agency or
Okay.
consultant and make 5 to 6 figures a month. So that's what we
Mm.
teach, and basically giving you all of our strategies, all of our SOPs on how we built our company up, so you can mimic and build one up for yourself.
So do you just mind sharing like a few things? Because I know, like outside of that, like how can I get my first client? How can I literally fund them, make some money, and then,
I
start
got you.
building up everything.
I got you. So, like I said, sales and marketing, right? That's one of the most important things. Even before you start, you could start your LLC yesterday and start sales and marketing right away, right?
Yeah.
But that's the most important thing to the funding agency, company, whatever you want to call it. Because you need to
Customers
go
and
out there and get those customers and clients, because no matter what, you won't have a funding company or a funding agency without them,
Yeah.
right? So I think, first of all, start going to some networking events, right? I think
Absolutely.
there's a networking event coming up. Start going to those networking events, right? Go on Eventbrite, look up some free networking events, and start putting yourself out there. If not, try to get in rooms where people are trying to invest into becoming a business, right? Because that's where you're gonna find a lot of people that want funding, because they want to get into the the exotic cars, the real estate.
Absolutely.
They get into those rooms because that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right? Their mindset is already set on that. So why not help them propel their mindset by giving them the funding that they need?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's exactly what they need in order for them to get started. Right? So I would say networking events, that's one. Two, right? Start going out there and building relationships, right? Even if you got to open an account, building relationships with the banks, not just with other people, but that as well. But just exactly with the banks, that's important. Because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to really understand how to become a profitable funding company, right? Because
Okay.
you could apply for the 10, 15 cards and give people 10, 15 inquiries, but then what's the point if you're not really optimizing exactly what you're doing,
Right.
right? And I'm not saying that you always have to come to us for that information, but we do have a community where we talk about that as well inside of our Discord, right? And inside of our Discord, we're speaking about those things on a daily basis so that we can continuously keep growing as a people. If you want to get to that point of getting into the academy, becoming your own funding company and agency, then that's where we come in, right? I started off at a regular job before even doing this. I was at a job, I was working 10, 12 hours a day, and I needed to find a way to get that real estate, right? I was in one of those rooms, so I can attest to that. I can attest to being a person that got approached by somebody that said, yo, you looking to get some funding, and I had to pay a fee in order for me to even get the money, and not knowing I was going to get the money at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, and I got it, and then I was able to flip it and put it into real estate, into other things. But a lot of people now at this day and age, especially with what we're doing and charging on the back end, it's a little bit easier. So now you as a person that wants to start your own funding company and agency, you could do the same thing. It's easier, but start with that sales and marketing. Operations and fulfillment is always going to come, but start with the sales and marketing so that you can understand how to actually obtain clients. Because if you don't, and you really, like I said, you're not going to have a funding company or agency at all.
That's true.
You're just going to be there with a company for no
That's
reason.
true. That's true. Okay. All right, cool. So, and what's the website so that way people can tap in with y'all?
Millionaireesenssials with an S at the end.com.
Yes, sir.
Go on that website, tap in with us. Follow us, Brandon the Provider.
Yep, Tevin Facey.
Millionaire
Instagram.
Essentials at Millionaire Essentials on Instagram as well. And yeah, he went from working 10 to 12 hours to having a shirt open, being a funding poppy.
Yeah, I'm here.
Change just like that, man.
Okay, yeah.
Link
So
in the
y'all
bio,
tap in.
all that
Tap
good
in.
stuff.
Wait. But before they tap in, is there any way so people could get like a little
Free information?
No, not free. I mean, yeah, free is good.
Well, the webinars.
but also discount too. A little
Of course,
something,
Absolutely, definitely. Check
So-
out. Go through their YouTube.
Hi.
We're gonna have a discount link. Matter of fact,
What's
we're gonna
that?
have something special for y'all. If you click, what y'all gonna have it below?
Yeah,
Somewhere
we're
on
gonna
the
have it
bottom?
below. But how much
Probably,
people
yeah.
though?
What you
First
mean, how
10,
much people?
15. Like,
Oh,
Once
only
it's gone, it's
first 5 to 10, bro.
all right, cool.
First
five
5
to
to
10.
10 is exclusive, man. First
Yeah.
5 to 10 people that drop in, we're gonna have something special for y'all. Matter of fact, we'll help y'all get access to our free course on building business credit.
Okay.
Sheesh, I gotta take advantage of that.
We're
Yeah.
gonna help
Yeah.
y'all get access to our free course, building business credit.
Somebody ran up actually through our free course. Well, it wasn't free at the time. It was a $500 course. They ran up getting funded for their clients over $1.5 million.
And then you do 10%.
And they did
of
10%, so they got $150,000
you
in less than
mentorship,
4
you know
months.
what that was, right?
Boy,
Yeah.
his eyes just
Yeah.
opened up. Look.
Yeah, it wasn't him.
Yeah, I'm
It
like,
wasn't him.
yeah.
It definitely wasn't him. But it
Bro,
was-
what?
But but seriously, that
Yo,
information.
tables do turn. You know that, right?
Nah, you know what's
Like
crazy though?
tables turn.
No, no, no.
Sometimes
I
it
wanna
take a
tell you,
little while, man.
Before we get out of here, I want to tell you I'm proud of you.
Oh yeah, thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
Nah,
but take action.
I've seen when you was out there about 250 pounds. Now you in shape.
I say 230.
You shape. You
Now,
making money. You making
word.
moves.
You
And
looking
you know what?
good.
You be in a lot of rooms, which is great, man. You been in a lot of rooms I don't expect you to be in, but you doing great, man.
Yeah.
You doing your thing.
I don't know if this
that
is a
part mean.
compliment.
Wait,
anymore.
yeah, I was just about to
No,
ask
this
the
no.
same
The reason
thing.
why I'm saying that, cause y'all about to take it wrong. The reason why I'm saying that because you're young.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing a lot of stuff that you doing at your age. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
Even though you're 2 years younger than me. I'm proud of you. Nah, I'm serious. I'm proud of you.
appreciate
You
it.
making moves, man.
Yeah,
now we on your
that's
platform.
important.
Now y'all on the platform, and it's only gonna get better. So
Yes, sir.
as we continually growing this show, growing the podcast, literally just giving you guys the information to stay plugged in, stay tapped in. The guests that we have on our show is definitely some great guests. It's not any and anybody that's really gonna be on the show. So we just gonna continuously speaking the vision, showing you guys some great guests. We had somebody talking about real estate, land bank properties. We have some people talking
Yeah, I got
about
Charles on.
yeah, we had Charles on the
Charles.
show. We about to have Sheer 3, Prada,
Hey.
all the top dudes. We about to bless
got
them,
Prada.
have them bless the stage, give you guys the
Sheeta.
information so that way y'all could turn up. Any final
Nah,
thoughts?
nah,
bro?
word. I just want to thank y'all for pulling up, and because especially business credit. Like before I even came here, I was a little bit like, I'm trying to learn a little bit more. But now the way y'all broke it down, you can't come into banks looking all crazy. You got to structure your whole profile in your business properly. So that's a lot of information for the community, and I feel like people definitely learned something.
Yeah, he was trying to
Absolutely.
get the bag on this episode.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
His eyes opened up when I said that man did 1.5 million in fund. That boy said, "Look, I gotta zoom in on that. When y'all go back to that, y'all gotta zoom in on his eyes, bro."
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out for sure. But
or
any
for
final
free
thoughts?
content too.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah,
Yeah, we got the free webinars every Tuesday too.
All right, cool.
Every
So y'all
Tuesday.
tapping with the free. All right, bet. The free good stuff. The good stuff. Like I
Yes.
was saying, they definitely well trusted and definitely advised. But definitely wait, what the YouTubers say? I gotta
Like,
get
subscribe.
YouTube.
Like, subscribe.
Like,
Like,
comment below.
subscribe, comment below. Tag us, share us. Future _ the CEO.
Ayadeji, IYODEJI.
Brandon the provider.
And Tevin Facey, make sure you tap in with us. Go ahead. They can actually text us motion
Okay.
at 917-809-5707.
Whew.
I'll tap that in for them.
Motion is success, y'all.
Yes,
Have
sir.
to take it off, Show off the little waves up there. Let me
What
stop.
waves? Yeah, wait. You saw wave?
They like some African hair there. But appreciate y'all.
Playing.
We gonna see y'all soon, man.
But yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man,
We
dope.
out.
Any final thoughts, bro?
Nah, we
All right, so we done, y'all.
I appreciate it.
I think that was good.